In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this adorable pumpkin pie garland. This is made with just some felt scraps, some ribbon I had on hand. It's very quick and easy to do, and I'm going to show you how to do it every step of the way. We're going to talk about supplies first and then learn how to make all the cuts that we need with the felt to assemble our pies. We're going to glue them all together and then kind of embellish our garland with some beautiful ribbon. Before we get started, be sure and hit the subscribe button to get all the latest Sparkle and Splatter video updates. So let's hop over and talk about supplies next. For this project, you're going to need some felt. Now I have a piece of like this beige tan color that we're going to do for like the pie crust. I have a piece of white that we're going to do for like a little dollop of whipped cream, and then some orange that we'll do for the pumpkin pie part of our garland. I have some other pieces here. It's, as you can see, just some scraps that I have laying around is perfectly fine. You'll need a piece of yarn in a coordinating color. I chose like an off-white. A pair of scissors, a ruler is super helpful to kind of get everything the same size. And as an option, you can tie some ribbon in between each pie slice. To begin, we're going to be cutting our felt first. And while you're doing that, I would recommend flipping on your hot glue gun just to kind of get it warmed up while you work. So for each pie, we're going to have a tan or crust color, whatever you want to pick. You could go a little darker, you could go a little lighter, whatever you have really. But your tan felt, we're going to cut a triangle of that. We're going to cut a triangle of orange the same size, and then we're going to cut a rectangle, a long strip to make our pie crust. So I grabbed this piece, and then we're going to cut just kind of like a little blob for our whipped cream, okay? So let's get all the pieces kind of lined up. Let's cut our triangles first. So I have here, now if you have a barcode or something from when you purchased your felt, just kind of throw that away. But what we're going to do is cut the tan felt first. And you can take and just cut like a square to begin. And that square, I'm just going to give you a quick measurement, is about 4 inches by 3.5 inches. And then you're going to take this center bottom point and you're going to go from the bottom center and cut to the top corner. We're just kind of freehanding this a little bit. Nothing special, nothing fancy, okay? If you need to sharpen up your edges, that's fine. And now that we have our first triangle cut, you can kind of use this as a template for all of your other triangles. So just kind of lay it on top of the other one, and we're just going to cut those using this first one as our little template, okay? Now what this will do is you're not going to really see this because it's going to sort of look like this, but it'll be underneath. That will show, it'll make it look kind of more like a real piece of pie with the crust at the bottom. So the side view, you'll be able to see it. But also we're going to be sandwiching this together and running our yarn through the middle. So it will be functional. So go ahead and cut as many triangles as you want for however many pieces of pie that you would like to have on your garland. So you can just lay your triangle down and cut the next piece and so forth, okay? So repeat for however many triangles you'd like to have. You can make a long garland, and so you'll need lots of pieces of pie for that, or a shorter one, obviously less pieces. So go ahead and cut the number of triangles, 1 beige and 1 orange per piece of pie, okay? Okay, so I cut 4 beige triangles and 4 orange triangles. And now we're going to assemble the garland, and then we'll add sort of our embellishments on there, okay? So grab a piece of yarn, and it helps to do this nice and flat, because what we'll do is you'll take your beige triangles and you're going to sort of space them out however you want your pieces of pie to go, how far apart you want them to be. So I'm going to kind of space these out, and just to give you a little bit of a measurement, it's about 2 inches in between, okay? Now for a garland, you want plenty of overhang on the sides also in order to be able to hang it, okay? You want lots of overhang. So space those out, get them all lined up, and what you're going to do is you're going to take your yarn and just kind of lay it on the triangles. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to kind of arrange everything perfectly as we glue. So grab your glue gun, and then you can just kind of like drop the yarn right on top of that, just like that, okay? Then we'll just repeat that for all of our other ones. If you are doing this as a family project, just, you know, whenever you're using a hot glue gun, use a lot of supervision because it can injure you if you're not careful, okay? Then we're going to take our orange triangle, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down just a triangle sort of all around the edge. And if you want to, just for a little extra, you can put a little bit in the middle, okay? And we're going to just drop that right on top. Okay, so then we're just going to do the same thing. Just take your glue gun and just go all around the edge. Make a nice little triangle, little blob in the middle, and then just drop your orange triangle right on top. Now, if you notice, I'm just patting this very, very lightly. You don't want to press it down too hard because the glue will squash out on either side. The next thing we're going to do is add our crust. So you'll want, for each pie that you've created, you want a piece of the tan in a rectangle about 6 inches long and about 1 inch tall. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just come in a little closer so you can see this. Grab your glue gun once again, and we're going to take our little strip, and what we're going to do is we're going to create sort of like an accordion. So see how I'm bending these back and forth like this? We're just going to do that, and then hold that in your hand like so. Take your glue gun once again, and we're going to just do kind of like a thicker strip across. So I kind of did like an up and down motion to get my blob a little bit thicker. And then we're going to just gently pull it apart and sort of tack it down. So we're just going to press this down so the glue can really get into the fibers. All right. And then you'll just want to repeat that for your other pie pieces. And it gives it a little bit of more of like a 3D look. And then we're going to cut another rectangle for our next crust and just keep doing the same thing across. So go ahead and do that with your other pie pieces to get your pie crust. Okay, so I did one of the whipped creams here so you can kind of see the end result. It looks cute and fluffy. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut 2 squares, each about 1 inch wide, okay? Then lay them on top of one another, and we're going to shape them into a circle. We're going to be cutting off some extra. So your circles will end up being about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch because we're cutting off some of the excess. Then what we'll do is we're going to take one circle, fold it in half, then fold it in half again, just like that. So it looks like a little triangle. Then take your other one, kind of hold this one aside, take your other one, fold it in half, then fold it in half again. And then they sort of make like a opening here, and we're going to take the 2 pieces and we're going to interlock them together like that, okay? And then we're going to take the back of this. Let me just come in a little bit closer. We're going to do this twice so you can see it happen twice because it's a little more complex than some of the other stuff. And while the glue is still sticky and soft, what you want to do is sort of like shape it into a circle and get it how you want it. And then once you do that, you can let go and it looks like a nice little blob of whipped cream, okay? All right, so let's do that once more. What we're going to do is we have 2 1-inch squares. We're going to sandwich them together, and then we're going to cut a circle. We're going to kind of just snip off the corners, really. But we're creating a circle that's about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch big, okay? Just a nice little small stack of circles, just like that. And then once again, fold it in half, and then fold it in half again. Take your other circle, same thing. Fold it in half again. And then when you look at your 2 circles, you're going to kind of like interlock them together. Just kind of like smush them together so that they're sort of like this. Okay? Then drop your glue down, just a little blob right in the center there. And we're going to take the back end of this and press it down into that glue. Okay? And as you press, it's going to kind of open up, and you can take your little blob and just sort of shape it into the shape of a circle. Just make sure it doesn't have to be a perfect circle, but just kind of like a rough circle, okay? And then you're going to let this sit and cool until it's completely cool, and repeat for all of your other pumpkin pie slices. So our garland is all done. We're going to put some ribbon in between. Now, I did a little bit of experimentation, and this one was a little bit narrow. So I found this plaid that actually had the exact same color as our pie. So I'm going to go with that one. So all you do is grab the ribbon that you want to use, give it a trim. This is about, I would say, let's see, let's hold it up to our ruler. It's about 9.5 inches. And so just take your ribbon. This is a little bit wider. It just, it matches. It just fills out the in between the pies a little bit nicer. And what we're going to do is we're just going to tie a piece of ribbon in between. And then you can just kind of trim it up. And this is wired ribbon, so it's nice to shape it up, especially when you store it at the end of the season. You can bring it back out and kind of reshape it up. And I like to give my ties a little bit of an angled trim. It just makes it look a little bit more finished. And then just tie that in between each of your pies. So our garland is complete. It looks so cute and it's ready to go. You want to make sure your hot glue is completely cool and dry. And then at either end here, you can either kind of tape this to something, or you can create a loop with your yarn and hang it on a hook or a nail or something like that. And so that is how you make this easy felt pumpkin pie garland. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I had so much fun making this one. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure and click the subscribe button to get all the latest Sparkle and Splatter video updates. Bye everyone!